taking a minute to figure out positioning, but I think she's got it. We got our first section scrubbed down with our Scotch-Brite, which looks like it did really good.
Solar has let us live comfortably with all the power we need to enjoy our life on the road being nomads.
The last solar panel.
We're installing our raised floor. We're going to go over some of the details of some of the decisions that we're making. We got our tanks from ntotanks.com. So we decided to go with a 100-gallon freshwater tank. So we started insulating, and the 1-inch insulation. We've got our 2-inch insulation now.
All of the rails for the solar panels are glued, lap sealed, adhesed to the roof. Panels are not all yet on there, so we are going to clean the crap out of the roof, scuff it up a little bit, and slap some paint up there. We haven't even started cleaning it, and Brian's already injured. What'd you hurt?
You know, typical Brian, as we're setting up, we'll just rake 3 fingers over a nice little tab that ripped them right open. We're going into battle. Taking a minute to figure out positioning, but I think she's got it.
This is so heavy and hard to
Yeah.
and a little bit.
For the weekend, I made my nails super cute with some glitter, and I'm just saying goodbye to them now because after scuffing up the surface for the paint, my nails will be scuffed up too.
Yeah.
That's nice.
This is my first trip standing back up on the roof after I've put the bracing across the roof struts. It's a world of difference, way better. As soon as I hopped up here, I could feel the rigidity in the upper roof strut, so I'm really happy and extremely confident to be up here now. We got our first section scrubbed down with our Scotch-Brite, which looks like it did really good. Power washer Katie is about to come in for the kill and rinse it all down. Looks like we covered about 6 feet, and we got a while to go. This is one of those projects that's not necessarily super fun. It's not that it's hard, it's just a workout.
And so repetitive.
One of the reasons why we're going to paint the roof is because the reflective qualities are going to retain heat, and this paint that we're putting on, it's designed to actually reduce temperature of metal. So we're hoping for the same thing. Even if we can get a couple degrees, it's a couple degrees. Paint the roof, we're going to be using a roof tinder, a Super Silicone 985. Basically, it's a silicone, kind of almost rubberized coating that will promote some temperature control. And that's about all we're after.
Let's get painting.
On up.
Building a box truck from the tires up means that basically everything you do is a grand experiment. Or, let's be real, a very educated guess. We read the product websites, we do the hours of research, we talk to people who actually know what they're talking about, and yet we still sit there thinking, is a simple product like this really going to help us in the long run? But then we remember, being in Arizona, in that 107-degree heat wave, bringing in all of our slides and hiding out in our bedroom during the day just to be comfortable. Suddenly, we snap back into the thinking that every little thing we did in the fifth wheel to manage the heat helped. So if we want this DIY toaster on wheels to survive all types of weather, we've got to commit to thinking a few of these crazy experiments will actually work.
All right, give us a breakdown.
We got paint everywhere. Most of it's on the roof. We are back here. It is the day after we painted that first coat of stuff on the roof, and we're gonna see if it's dry enough because it is very misty in this area because it's close to the beach. So we're gonna see if we can slather on that second coat yet.
Wow, that's funky feeling.
Yeah, it's
It does feel dry though.
yeah. It'll get more solid once it cures, but yeah, it's a little weird.
It's cool for the wind.
What else is happening today?
All right, so we needed to finish painting the roof, and we need to give it 4 hours of dry time today. And then we're going to reassemble and install all the panels to finish up panels. And then they'll be up here out of the way for us to start our next project. And we'll finish up the wiring when we get into the rest of the electrical system. Now that we got the roof painted, we're gonna go ahead and throw our panels up there to stay. And they should be mounted permanently up there from now on, which would be nice to get them out of here. So we got other work to do.
I feel like the first one takes 4 times as long as the last one does.
I agree with that. What about you guys? Leave a comment below. Do you guys think the first one always takes longer, or are we alone on that?
We're just slow learners.
A quick note with these tilting solar panels. Everything's got to line up. So you've got some wiggle in your panel when it lines up, and then you got some adjustment to do on your U-track, and trying to get all of those things to line up. I think the easiest way to do this is to actually build the tilting part, minus the tilt, but build that track down here, get it all together. Once we place it on the U channels, and then bolt it to the U channel in the place that it should go.
To me, that makes the most sense as well.
It does.
And we test fit the 2 first panels, and that's what we did, and I couldn't really think of a better way, but a little bit more better.
A little bit more.
Because if it saves 10 minutes times 8, that's numbers.
You know, Katie is with her numbers.
After 2 solar builds and living purely off solar on a sailboat, a fifth wheel, and soon to be this box truck, we can confidently say that our lifestyle does not need anything more than our shiny solar energy. No loud generator, no bulky portable power pack, and no stinky propane. Solar has let us live comfortably with all the power we need to enjoy our life on the road being nomads. Ready?
Yeah, ready for the
The last solar panel.
towards you. Something like that.
That looks great. How does it feel to see all these beautiful solar panels up here?
Can't wait to start using the power.
Yeah.
Out on the open road, exploring a place that we have not been. I mean, who knows? We might be sitting in the middle of Louisiana or New Orleans eating beignets off the back of our box truck.
I want to catch a crawdad. 1,000 crawdads for a snack.
And we'll be high enough to where crocodiles don't come and get me.
Oh, true.
The Daydreams are going.
Yeah, we'd have to check under the truck so we don't run over an alligator, huh?
All right, last week we had one of the noisiest weeks ever, and we're kind of excited that this week is not going to be as loud. We're installing our raised floor. We're going to go over some of the details of some of the decisions that we're making. We got our tanks from ntotanks.com, which is a great place to look for tanks. We'll kind of go over those a little bit too. And we're going to do something a little bit different with how we're putting our tanks in. It might be a little bit more van life than RV life. So we're really excited for you guys to come along and watch the build progress. There's always a bunch of noise going on.
Right when the camera starts rolling.
One of the things I was a little stressed about when first starting to plan this build was the tanks. I had no idea where to get them. So a little research, after going through a few websites, we ended up going with ntotanks.com. The amount of different options that they offered gave me so many options to go through 4 or 5 versions of the build and finally come up with one that we believe is going to work best for us.
And everyone will have different needs for tanks. You might need less fresh water than us, a smaller black tank, a bigger gray tank. But we just found with living almost 2 years in the fifth wheel that our ratios needed to be different than what was on the fifth wheel. I think we're just really efficient with water, with washing dishes in our hands and whatever else, showering. We're just really efficient with our gray water. When Brian was mapping out the framework for our build, the most complicated thing was to fit it around the tanks available until we found ntotanks.com. And then Brian said, oh, wait, I can do this. I can do this. They have this weird shaped tank. So then he could actually get a bit more creative with the space, and we could fit them in to make our living area a bit more cozy and friendly and what we wanted.
They have their own kits that you can install in the tanks, which we're going to kind of go over in a later video when we get them all hooked up. So you can place all of your plumbing where you want it. And in a build like this, that's going to be priceless. The other thing that we really wanted was a massive freshwater tank. So we decided to go with a 100-gallon freshwater tank, which for us is a good 3 weeks boondocking, if not more. And I'm pretty excited to find out at some point in time. And we've got a 50-gallon gray water tank that should be more than enough for us. Along with the gray water tank, we did an 80-gallon black water tank, and that should keep up with the amount of time that we want to be out boondocking or cruising around without, having to rush to, dump somewhere. Now that we have our tanks, they have officially come in and we are caught up on the repair from the outside of the box truck. We get to focus on the inside, and our tanks is where we're starting first.
What is the first step to this?
This used to be an old truck for a tire company, and I think they were possibly stacking some tires or something like that. And so this front little area took a good shot. We've pushed that back as far as we think we can. We're not ever going to be square in the front of this box truck. So I'm just kind of thinking of how this is going to work out by just trying to see what kind of gaps we got for our struts at the bottom and our other support struts. Once we kind of get this worked out, I'm gonna come through and anchor the bottom of this floor so there's actually some resistance real low for anything.
And if you've seen our past videos in the fifth wheel, you know that we push things to the limits and we like going down those bumpy roads. Seem like that excessive. It seems like it's kind of necessary.
We've got to go make a run to the hardware store. We need some insulation so we can build the front of the box and make sure it's insulated before we start building the framing and placing all of our tanks. So let's go do that.
It feels like we're really picking up steam as we head into installing some insulation. I know we just installed our solar panels on the roof, but you know that feeling when you can't see something in front of your face? It doesn't feel like much has been done. It feels like we are finally transforming the look of the inside to its raw form and really making a progressive step into getting this box truck started. It feels good to be putting in the hard work to get to this point.
So we started insulating, and the 1-inch insulation that we're doing, it's kind of cool. It's kind of set up for it almost already. But these Z-posts, there's a gap behind it, and it fits perfect with the 1-inch to just slide right in. We're cutting them to where they're flush in the next one. And then we're gonna frame on top of that, and we'll show you what's next.
This is way easier and a lot more quiet. I appreciate that.
There's a small gap in front of the floor, and we're gonna fill that gap with a little bit of spray foam before we put our 2x4 against the wall.
Ooh. This corner too, a little bit?
Yeah.
Ooh.
All right, so let me explain a little bit what we're doing. We've got our 2-inch insulation now coming across opposite or perpendicular to the other insulation. I want to mount all of the 2x4s across the studs of the box to give the box more rigidity. When we got in here, there was a steel hook, something that was throughout the middle, and I believe that that would give it a lot of rigidity. So with adding in our cross braces across the studs, it should do the same. And we're going to have them spaced out as they go up to the ceiling. So right now with this front wall, we are insulated to the point to where we can then sheet it right now, and then we're going to place our first tank.
Hiding stuff in plain sight. That's always been my problem.
I love having a girlfriend who knows how to use a nail gun. I don't understand. Didn't we just remove all of this wood from in here? Yeah, we did. But now it's insulated.
Upcycle.
Yeah, we're trying to use all of the old wood that came out of here, as well as all of the Z channel that we pulled out of here. All of it's going to be put to use by the time we're done. We hope, anyways. This is our bathroom floor. That will be sitting here.
Okay, we are back. Putting in more insulation. So I just realized you have a mic on too. But should have done this before I left you up.
Do that.
We're not exactly professionals. We are back doing insulation again today, making her nice, tight, cozy, warm, and cool against the elements. We had to go to 2 different Home Depots to get the rigid foam board insulation of our dreams, but we have it. We have it all. We are ready to cut it down and slap it on in this bad boy. And we're very excited to get started on that. Okay, now you can make noise.
Day 2.
Take 2.
We need to figure out where the windows are to leave out that. So wherever there's a window, I think we're going to use the 4-foot side. So only come up 4 feet
Okay.
and come across, right? And then we will use whatever from the window up. So, but I got to lay this out to know where the windows are.
Yeah, the first one's kind of hard.
Yeah. Is the piece of wood going above or below?
It is going below the line.
Okay.
Make sure you sight it correctly.
I am looking at it.
It's a little wonky because it's got that bow in it.
I'll find it, don't worry.
As we know, nothing in this box is presumably square. So we're picking one point, and that is driver's side corner, which didn't have the little bit of damage that the other side did. So we're using this as our base point. To make sure that we can kind of start building things square from here, we're going to take a measurement from this corner on our tuber for. We're going to take a measurement from this corner in the tuber. So we're going to measure over from this corner 40 inches, and that's going to give us a 0 line to then measure from there out towards the back of the RV. And everything should more or less be square from there. We've transferred it over to the other side using a 90-degree square and a piece of string, simple trick. And so now we have 40 on both sides to be able to continually measure and continue and continue and continue and continue because it's all continuing.
And continually continue.
Katie's got most of the 1-inch insulation up in the areas that we don't have a window yet. Like one of the reasons why this is blank right now and a couple other places in here is because those are where the windows are going to go. So we're just going to bring the insulation up to the bottom of those, cover the space, and then continue on once we get the windows and get all the framing in there, which is a whole nother video. That one's going to come, so make sure you subscribe and like this video to find out that one. All right, we made some good progress here today. We've got all of our sidewalls built, studs are in. And tomorrow we're gonna frame in the tank area in the bathroom, and then that will get us the rest of the measurements we need to build the floor in the kitchen. Man, I'm not even really kind of caught up there yet. So I guess we're gonna be framing the floor in the living room.
Framing week! Framing week!